She looked normal until she snapped. Today, I want to talk about female psychopaths. But before I dive into that, the weird stuff, I've got a favor to ask of you. Sign up for my free monthly newsletter in the link below. You'll get exclusive behind the scenes information, bonus case details, and some salacious personal updates that you won't get anywhere else. And while you're at it, check out my new release, Surviving a Psychopath in Court, in Life, and in Love, available on Amazon and anywhere where you buy books. It is a deep dive into some of the twisted pathology featured in this podcast and in my upcoming docuseries, Crime Stands Still. So let's get into it. Psychopaths don't break hearts, they break people. No one in the psychopathic television universe demonstrates this better than Beth Dutton, talking about the female iconic anti-hero of Taylor Sheridan's brilliant American saga, Yellowstone. And if you haven't seen it yet, I suggest that you check it out before listening to this because I do have some spoiler alerts in here, right? I want to talk about Sheridan's psychopathic universe. All of his characters have some kind of pathology, and he has managed to create a world where the most dangerous predators are not cowboys with guns. It's a woman in a designer power suit. Beth Dutton doesn't break hearts. She breaks people. She is easily one of the most compelling and terrifying fictional psychopaths on television, often hailed, mistakenly, I might add, as a feminist icon. I mean, good grief. Do I want to be identified as that as the role model? Right? She is a functional psychopath. Beth doesn't love. She dominates. Her relationship with Rip Wheeler isn't romantic, it's predatory. And he survives not because she returns his love, but because he surrenders to her. He is conquered. And that's the only kind of love that Beth can tolerate. It's that weaponized intimacy, right? Where it is just another form of control. She mirrors Rip's desires. She makes him feel seen until Rip loses sight of himself entirely. Hers is a kind of strategic possession. We've all encountered her type before, right? She is magnetic, she's funny, she's seductive, she commands a room, but her charm is a camouflage. It's disarming. It makes you lean in when really you should run. In one unforgettable scene when her father, John Dutton, affectionately kisses her on the head and says she's evil, Beth looks up at him and says, well, off to ruin another life today. And she doesn't mean it metaphorically. She means it literally. Her cruelty isn't impulsive, it's calculated. She destroys with precision. And that is not drama, that is pathology, folks. Beth doesn't just hurt people, she studies them. Have you ever heard of that psychopathic dead-eye stare? She's gathering intel. She finds the softest part of a person's soul and she cuts there. Here's a spoiler alert. Her lifelong campaign to destroy her brother Jamie isn't just revenge, it's obsession. It's what I call psychological ritual abuse. It's an ongoing need to relive trauma by inflicting it on others. Because psychopaths don't get over things, they loop. They don't heal, they harm. Beth doesn't evolve, she calcifies. She's the same woman, only sharper, more brutal as the series evolves. She drinks constantly, not to party, not to socialize, but to numb, because psychopaths will often use substances to manage the static inside of them. And when the alcohol no longer works, they lash out, and violence becomes their anesthesia. This kind of self-medication is very common among functional psychopaths. They can appear high-performing, corporate, clever, cunning, charismatic, but the truth is they're dissociating, drifting between a calculated cruelty and emotional vacancy. Beth didn't become this way in a vacuum. Although I do say psychopaths are born and hardwired that way, but they can be influenced by their environment. Her father, John Dutton, is a master manipulator. He rules not with affection, but with conditional loyalty, right? He doesn't rage when his children defy him. He erases them. Spoiler alert. Beth's sterilization, without her knowledge, by the way, is one of the most horrific violations on screen. It's a calculated act of control disguised as paternal protection, right? Her father doesn't love her despite her cruelty. He loves her because of it. She is not just his daughter. She is his weapon. So Beth's so-called independence, right, her big corporate wins are a facade because the moment she steps off that plane into Dutton land, she relapses into chaos. Her success is never hers. It's always about in service of the Dutton War. Because psychopaths don't build to escape, they build fortresses to burn others from the inside. And Beth never left the ranch. She just found higher ground to watch it burn. She's a case study in a high functioning psychopath. Charm without empathy, power without morality, loyalty without love. She doesn't seek redemption. She doesn't want healing because she doesn't think there's anything wrong. She wants domination. And that, my friends, is the ultimate red flag of psychopathy. In Yellowstone, violence is a love language. Trauma is the inheritance, and survival means choosing which part of yourself to kill. If this resonated with you, or if you've lived through a similar type of relationship where you felt like it was psychological warfare, you are not alone. And in my new release, Surviving a Psychopath, it's a deep dive into this very kind of pathology, how to spot it, how to survive it, how to reclaim your voice, how to protect yourself, right? Because psychopaths don't always come with knives. Sometimes they wear power suits and you never see them coming. Until then, my friends, trust your instincts.